Mind is very simple for me, because if you take away your attention, it just dies. California may be beautiful, but people can be in hell, isn't it? Within themselves, in their experience, in their homes, in their situations, they can create hell for themselves. Everybody must do a little bit of engineering within themselves to see that being peaceful and joyful is not a challenge. Once this happens, your intelligence will function in a completely different way. Namaskaram, every…
Hi, Sadhguru. Thank you for sitting down here. So I want to jump right in, and there's a quote from Yogananda. He says, you can control a mad elephant, you can walk in water and live in fire, but control of the mind is better and more difficult. And I've certainly found that for myself. I spend so much time wrestling with my mind, I hardly have the energy to dance with life. Why is it so hard for us to manage our mind as people?
I have no such problem because I lost it long time ago. When you don't have it, then you don't have to control it, you know. Because it's a very impaired notion that people think intelligence is somewhere here. This is a living cosmos. It's an intelligent cosmos. We are just one tiny product, minuscule product. And now we think we have so much intelligence and we have to control it, manipulate it, use it. I have no such issues, I gave it up long time ago. So, mad elephant I wouldn't want to control because I've seen them, what they can do. Mind is very simple for me, because if you take away your attention, it just dies. If you keep your attention and try to control it, that's crazy. So, why is human mind an issue? Your mind is just an antenna, not the source of intelligence. Intelligence is everywhere. Unfortunately, people who are deprived of basic ease in their life have described the source of creation, or they say God is peace. Those who are deprived of love in their life, they say God is love. Those who have fallen in their lives, they say God is compassion. But if you're none of these, but you understand the idea of God has entered human mind only because before you and me came, there was so much creation. We know we didn't make it. So, when we cannot figure who made all this, somebody makes up a simple story, there is one big man sitting up there who makes all this. Well, today women are arguing, why can't it be a woman? This argument is going on everywhere, different things. I must tell you this. In some of the southern churches, these arguments going on. Why can't God be a woman? As you know, a couple of elections ago you tried to settle it. You know what happened? Last election, why couple? And there are arguments like this. You heard of Idi Amin, the Uganda man? Idi Amin declared God is black. I also agree with him. Because if a white man can have a white God, why can't a black man have a black God? What's the problem? But you know, white people, black people, they have not seen God because only messengers and sons came to these parts of the world. In India, we know God is brown because Indians believe God landed in India himself, not his son, not his messenger, himself 9 times. 9 times he came to India. So Indians, especially Indians who are living outside the country, are very proud of this. God came to our land himself 9 times. So I keep reminding them that is because God wouldn't trust anybody with Indians. He wanted to do the job hands-on. So he himself came 9 times and failed. Failure is obvious. 9 or 10 times you can debate, but failure is obvious. What I'm saying is, the idea of God or a certain source which could be in some human form or animal form or whatever, has essentially come because you've not paid attention to the creation. The idea has come only because you have no explanation for the creation. But if you pay enough attention, we don't know God loves you or not, we don't know whether God is peaceful or not, we don't know whether God is compassionate or not. But if you pay attention to this flower or this leaf or a blade of grass, you can see whoever created this is brilliant. Simply no question. Everywhere you see, every atom you see, it's intelligence, intelligence, intelligence. But nobody said God is intelligence. That's the biggest mistake we've made. We said all kinds of things, whatever we need. We say God is wealth because if you are poor. If you are hungry, you say God is food. If you have backache, you'll say God is health. Everybody, whatever they're deprived of, they will make it into that. Leave all these things, just take one piece of creation, take an ant and pay attention to him. You will see it's a most brilliant creation. But we never said God is intelligence. So, this is a living intelligence, everything here, this very cosmos. In this, where do I think I'm intelligent? If you find access to the intelligence there is, you can function in a phenomenal way. But within this bone box, if you think everything that needs to be there is in this, then all you will do is suffer your intelligence. Now you think a mad elephant is easier to handle than your mind, so you must be madder than the mad elephant. I don't know who said that, but for me, my body, my mind is never a problem. It always cooperates, because that's what it's supposed to do. My body and my mind should take instructions from me, only then it's a useful instrument. If it start doing its own things, then it's a nuisance. And this is what is happening to most people, that their mind is the biggest nuisance in the world. They would be better off without a brain. Yes. If you remove half the brain, everybody is going about struggling to be peaceful. You take away half their brain, they will sit here peacefully, very peacefully. So is that the goal I'm asking? There is a possibility, that is, if you do not harness that possibility, it becomes a major problem. And you don't know how to harness it because you do not know whether it's a horse or an elephant or a cow or a deer. When you do not know the nature of something, how do you deal with it? Suppose, right now here there's a cup sitting here. In my mind, I think this cup is 3 feet in diameter. Now I will try to lift it like this. How much ever I do, this cup will not come in my hands. Now I think this cup is a serious problem, because first of all, I have no perception what the cup is. Right now, that's all the human problem is. They have no understanding of what their mind is. They're trying to analyze the content. Content is what you picked up, isn't it? Content is what you picked up in terms of life's experiences. This content is of no use. You can distance yourself from it very effortlessly. The problem is the nature of the mind. How does it function? What is the basis of its existence? If you do not comprehend the nature of the mind, well, it feels like a mad elephant, why not? And you believe you can handle a mad elephant? Then you've not seen one, I've seen. One, oh, you don't want to be anywhere there. When an elephant goes mad, when it goes amok, oh, you don't want to be there anywhere in 1 kilometer.
And most of us don't want to be anywhere near our own minds, because our minds do act like that. And I think one of the great lessons, I heard you talking about it yesterday, is the ability to observe the mind. As you said, if you don't understand the mind, how can you use it as the tool that it is? but the distance that's necessary to actually observe it. Is that what you credit your ability to let go of the challenging aspects of the mind, the willingness to give some separation and observe your own mind?
See, right now I see you are a well-exercised man, all right? You have strength in your arm. Is it a problem?
No,
Does it punch you once in a while? Hello?
not usually.
It does, but does it ever punch you,
No.
your right arm? It doesn't. So it's not a problem. So all this strength is not a problem because it doesn't punch you. Similarly, whatever is the nature of the mind, this is also one more dimension like your arm. Your arm is here to do this, that and that. Your mind is here to do that, that and that. But now it punches you. So there must be something wrong with the relationship, isn't it?
Yes.
That's what we need to look at, nothing wrong with the mind. We are not holding it right. When I say holding it right, if I ask you a simple question, would you like your mind to be sharp or blunt?
Sharp.
Sharp. So now I will give you a very sharp knife, very sharp one. I must tell you this. We were trekking in Tibet. So I'm staying in a tent and I'm doing some work, I'm writing something. Somebody else there is cutting an apple with one of those, those new porcelain knives. So another person who is there in the tent says, "Be careful, it's a very sharp knife." This irritates me, because I call something a knife only if it's sharp. If it's a child, if you're 5, 7, 8-year-old child, yes. This is a grown-up man. You don't tell him it's a sharp knife. Then I just look at it and then I continue my work. Again another 2 minutes, again they say, "Be careful, it's a very sharp knife." I said, "Come on, leave him alone." He's a grown-up man, he doesn't know knife is sharp. What is the problem? Is it such a complicated instrument he cannot handle it? He said, "No, Sadhguru, it's a very sharp knife." I said, "God damn it, I call something a knife only if it's sharp. If it's not sharp, throw the damn thing, it's not a knife." And then I continue to work and this person whispers to that person, "Be careful, it's very sharp." Another 2 minutes, that guy cuts his hand. I give up. So I'm saying, you want your mind to be sharp. So if I give you a sharp instrument, you must know how to hold it, isn't it?
Gotta know where the handle is.
If you do not know which is the handle, which is the blade, if you hold the blade tight, of course it'll hurt. This is the only problem with the mind. You're holding it from the wrong end.
So for those of us, I've studied the mind, I've gone through many practices, I've tried to figure out where the handle is. And usually, a lot of times I can hold the handle, but sometimes I find myself and there's blood on my hand because I'm holding the blade before I even realize that I grabbed the blade. I wake up in the morning and I feel anxiety in my chest because I feel like I must do something more and there's something more I need to do. And I'm just burning with this anxiety. And I know that's just my mind. It doesn't help me, but still I can't find the handle again. What is the advice you give people like me who are trying their best to find the handle of their own mind, but keep finding the blade?
They're trying their best through what means? They're using their mind to find their mind. It is like you hire the local crook as a policeman. I think a lot of times it's happened in LA. You hire the local criminal as the police in charge. Oh, you will see, crime will happen smoothly without any problems,
Right.
isn't it?
Right.
So that's all that's happening for most people, crime is happening smoothly to a point where doctors are telling them anxiety is normal. It happens to everybody, I'm also anxious, I'm also popping pills, you also pop pills. Otherwise, they will make, hallucinogenic drugs legal because it helps. See, if you fall asleep, it helps, isn't it? If you get intoxicated, it helps. I'm saying the further advancement of that is, if you fall dead, it helps. That's why they say rest in peace, because they know that guy never rested all his life. So where is the handle? See, we are looking at this with a certain limitation. Right now, there is something called an intellect. That is the thing that you want it to be sharp, because it's a survival instrument. Without your intellect, you cannot survive in this world. An intellect functions only from the data that you receive from the five sense organs of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting and touching. Beyond that, it cannot function. If I wipe out all your memory right now, even if you have a sharp intellect, still you won't know nothing. You can't do nothing, because your intellect is like your computer without data. Suppose no data on your computer, it may be a supercomputer, blank. That is the nature of your intellect. It only functions from its data, but it must be sharp. Now, is it okay? Can we go into this in detail?
Yes, please.
So in yoga, we look at human mind as 16 parts. But today, considering the time, we'll make it into 4 segments. These are called buddhi, ahankara, manas and chitta. Buddhi means the intellect. Ahankara means identity. Manas means a silo of information. There are 8 different forms of memory here. There is conscious memory, there is unconscious memory, there is articulate memory, there is inarticulate memory, there is genetic memory, there is evolutionary memory, there is elementary memory. Like this, various dimensions of memories are built into us. See, right now, there is evolutionary memory in you that you're a human being. And that's why the body has constructed itself like this. Suppose somewhere here your DNA forgets, then this may become a buffalo. Yes, evolutionary memory, do what you want, you cannot confuse it. It is so on the thing. 10 generations ago, how your great-great-great-great-grandfather looked like, do you remember?
No.
No. But his nose is sitting on your face.
Yes.
Your body absolutely remembers. 1,000,000 years ago, how your forefathers were, even the texture of the skin it remembers. So what you're calling as myself is a product of very complex memories of evolutionary, genetic, karmic, various types of memories. So all these memories together are providing data for your intellect to function in a certain way, to figure out how to use this memory for this situation, all right? But there is a dimension between this manas and buddhi, between the silo of memory and the sharp knife in the front that you call as your intellect. Between this, there is a hand that holds it, which is the identity. How you identify yourself, with what you identify yourself, that is how your intellect will interpret the memory. See, right now you get identified, let's say, with your nation. Now for this nation I'm willing to live, I'm willing to die, all right? Or you identified with your race. You're willing to die, I'm willing to kill, willing to whatever, you know. Whatever your identity is, your intelligence will function only that way. See, people won't understand when somebody thinks something is absolutely right and you think this is the dumbest thing, because the identity is like that, isn't it?
It's always telling stories.
No, it is the identification. See, right from your childhood, the identification has been built of your gender, of your race, of your religion, of your nationality, of your ethnicity, and individually so many other things that each individual will do to themselves, of their education, of their social status, of whatever else. Right now your teacher is saying, for the good of all. What this is about, just because you say it, all are not going to be good, but within yourself, you want to make your identity with everybody.
Correct.
You want to make your identity as large as possible. That's the idea. We would like to make this identity cosmic, but we don't know where is cosmos. So at least make it global. Because now if your identity is like this, your memory, your intelligence together will combine and try to address everything from a larger identity. Everything that you call as evil, everything that you call as crime, everything you call as corruption is essentially limited identification, isn't it?
Yes.
I'm fighting for my country and I'm willing to kill you. I don't know who the hell you are, but I'll kill you. This is the whole thing, isn't it? Because I'm identified with my country. And what is my country? Somebody drew a map and told me, this is your country, this is you, only this way you're you, otherwise you're not you. So I'm so strongly identified with my country, I'm willing to kill the whole world for the sake of my country, or my community, or my family, or myself. If it's myself, people will say, see, he's a selfish man. If he's family, in America it's very appreciated, in India it's seen as corruption. I will fight for my family, in America it's a good quality. I'll fight for my community, is a good thing for somewhere else. I'll fight for my nation is largely good almost everywhere in the world. But if your identity is beyond all these limited identifications, then your intelligence will function in a completely different way. So this hand which holds the knife and which is rooted in the memory, this is not taken care of in modern societies. We are all standing up and singing national anthems. Well, I started writing a global anthem almost 10 years ago. I announced this in the Economic Forum and I said we should do a global anthem. Why are children not learning a global anthem? Okay, they can sing their national anthem, but they must… every child in the school all over the world must sing a global anthem, identifying with the planet, identifying with humanity and every other life on this planet. Because only then their intelligence will work for everybody's good. Otherwise, at any cost, I want to be good, I don't care what the hell happens to you. I will not, because my identity is like this. Don't think they're good people, bad people. They're just identified with that. So there is good and bad, it just depends on what we are identified with. And it's a good people who are always fighting, bad people don't fight so much, they just steal, maybe cause one murder here, there, but they make their money and they sit somewhere and enjoy their life. Bad people, criminals, I'm saying. Good people, it is a good Indian who is willing to fight with a good Pakistani. It's a good Christian fighting with a good Muslim. It's a good American fighting with almost anybody. Just everybody's fighting because they're good. But good something, identified with a limited something and you're good with that, isn't that the basis of all the conflict? My religion versus your religion, my nation versus your nation, my community versus your community, my race versus your race, endlessly it's gone on. The whole problem of everything is limited identity. I'm telling you, extreme versions of this is Adolf Hitler, all right? Extreme versions is Adolf Hitler. But just look around and see, there are a whole lot of them around you, but the only thing is they're not as powerful as him, fortunately. Yes or no?
Yes.
Limited identity means naturally you are going to do something else to somebody else, because your identification is like that. So in India, as part of the yogic culture, this was the thing in the past, not anymore. 0 to 12 years of age, a child should just eat well, play, sleep well, that's all, no teaching. At 12, education begins. Before he starts his education, because education is seen as a huge empowerment, before he starts education, he must shift his identity to a global or cosmic identity. First thing is aham brahmasmi, that means I am everything. Not this or that, I am everything in the universe is me. Without taking that step, without that initiation, there is no education. Because education is empowerment. See, today tell me, are educated people causing more damage to this planet or uneducated people causing more damage to this planet?
Educated.
Educated people, because they're empowered, isn't it? Empowered, but their identifications are limited. They have no identity with other creatures on this planet, so they're just obliterating them altogether, and they don't even think they're doing anything wrong, all right?